So we are coming to an end point or a climax, an event, and we've talked about December 21st, 2012 before. It appears, Max, that some people that are just not getting it, getting this message, coming to this profound truth, are actually degrading their own humanity and falling in for the great lie of the New World Order. But the rest of us that are seeking truth, and we seem to be waking up and going in the other direction, and so it's becoming a division in this world, and we are obviously a minority. But do we really need the majority on this to win this battle?
Well, not really, John. I mean, if you look at the 100th monkey syndrome and you look at how all this works, you find out that, and they did tests that Greg Braden talks about in one of his shows. They did, it was a consciousness experiment where they put people in certain centers and they have them meditate and feel the feeling of peace. And they find that the crime rate drops in those centers and all this sort of stuff. Violent crime goes down to zero. They put people in the war with Lebanon and Israel. They put people in strategic points, and they found that bombing raids got cancelled, and all sorts of things happened when people were feeling this emotional state of peace. And these were people that coordinated around the internet and were trained to feel this feeling all at the same time. And what they worked out from these experiments was that you need about the square root of 1% of the population to actually be feeling these emotions and transmitting these emotions all at the same time in order to bring about change. So in a city of 1 million people, you need about 100 people to do it. So in the world, the world of 6.5 billion people, whatever we've got, that's about 8,000 or 9,000 people. The square root of 1% is around a little bit over 8,000 people that you need to be aware of this and be able to focus on this proper energetic state to be able to shift this reality. And I believe that's a lot of what 2012 is about. We reach a period in 2012 we were talking about earlier when it's very, very likely the magnetic field of the Earth is going to drop to zero on that day because we are currently going through a magnetic reversal of the poles. What happens with the magnetic reversals is it's very strong, and the current, it doesn't just sort of flip. It's a very strong magnetism on both the north and south pole, and it gradually decreases and decreases and decreases down to zero, and then it starts growing again, but it grows in the opposite direction to what it was. So that's the way magnetic pole reversals happen. They don't just suddenly flip one day and north becomes south and south becomes north. It's a gradual thing that happens over a couple of thousand years, and we're in the process of that at the moment. So when we hit that date on 2012, when the frequency of the pulse rate of the Earth and the frequency of our bodies and our consciousness is raised up to 13 cycles, which is scientifically proven to be happening, and the magnetism of the Earth will probably reach zero on the same day. It'll be a very interesting day. And I believe that on that day, we've got the chance to literally shift this reality. If we can get enough people, we can get 8,000 people that are fully awake, that can mold this reality and totally understand how this works, all at the same time. I believe we could literally shift this reality. I mean, that's obviously something that will remain to be seen. I mean, it's just a personal belief I have. I think we can do it. I really, really do. And it doesn't take a lot of people to do it because the power of love and the power of positive energy is so much more powerful than the power of negative energy. And if people ever doubt that, they just have to, as I've said many times, look at everything the architects of the New World Order have to do with their chemicals and fluoride and food toxins and everything they have to do to keep us in this low energetic state. All we have to do is change our center of emotion. And anyone who does this, you can feel it. You can literally feel this stuff. You can feel it pulsating out of yourself. You can give it to others, and you can literally reshape your reality. You absolutely can.
Powerful stuff, and I'm thinking, what are we waiting for? Max, I actually have approached a couple of my most awake listeners and asked them to do an experiment with me on such a thing. Do you think it's possible that you're getting about 1 million hits a month, aren't you, on your website at thecrowhouse.com?
I'm getting a lot. I'm getting an average of around 50,000 a day, so whatever that works out to.
Yeah, whatever that works out to. That is amazing. Let's see. Do you think it's possible to work up a consensus of finding people and doing a project such as what you just talked about of focusing on peace and doing that from your website? You think that's and my radio shows trying to gather up people to do a project like that?
Oh, I think it'd be well worth trying, John. Absolutely. It's just coordinating the time and getting people really do need to be aware of it and to not just pretend they're aware of it. And you know, we want to make sure we've got the right people involved in it, which would be sort of hard. But the thing is, if people can put themselves into this state, you can do it all the time. If we can get enough people focusing on this and being in tune with this energy all the time, every moment of the day, because every moment of the day is what counts. You can't just sort of do this for a couple of hours and think, okay, that's a couple of hours. We need to be doing this all the time, because when you're not doing it, what are you doing? What are you thinking with your emotions? What are you putting back into the energy supply? If we can get enough people actually focused on this and living their life in this way, then we can change reality. I think that's the way to do it. People just waking up to it, understanding it, realizing that you're connected, realizing your connection to everything. And once you do know it, you can't unknow it. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about it. The more you talk about it, the more you communicate it to others, the more you're spreading the energy, the more you're keeping yourself in this energetic state. And I think that's the key, is a shift in consciousness. I'd like to try an experiment like that. I've been trying to get hold of Greg Braden. I've sent him a couple of emails, but I think he's away. He's got some sort of a cruise happening in January, so he's probably off doing something. He'd be a very busy man, but he'd be the person to contact about this. And I've also tried to contact a couple of universities about it, so we'll see how we go on that. So I am with you on that, and I have thought of that myself, and it would be a good experiment to do, definitely.
Yes, well, count me in, and anybody I can drag into it. We just can't sit around and wait any longer. We've got to start taking action, and I think it's a profound idea, and you have such a strong following. I think that's where we're going to end up. Yes, and I agree. We all need to do this 24/7. We need to become different. But in the meantime, why don't we do an experiment where we collectively prove this true? And I think it would inspire so many people if we were able to profoundly make a change on something in a positive way. I think it would draw a lot of attention. And yes, maybe like you said, you've talked to a couple of universities, and if they could witness it for us, that would be all the better. But they can't change my mind. I believe in it already. Max, I want to thank you once again for being on the show, and encourage everybody to check out your website. It is thecrowhouse.com, and the film is The Awakening, Divine Connections. And this is the first of 4 or 5 of that series?
Yeah, it should be probably a 5-part series that I'll be doing there, so there's a lot more information to come out about that. But lovely talking to you again, John. Always good to talk to you. So remember those peptides, people. Remember not to be addicted to the wrong emotions. And that's the big key to it all.
Fantastic. Thank you, and good night, Max.
Good night, John.
Okay. Hey, now, everybody. There you have. You cannot go to the gates of hell or to heaven, whichever it is, and claim that you didn't know, because it's staring you right in the face. You just heard some profound truth, and if you just applied it and tried it, you would know that it's true. We are creating our own reality. We are manifesting what we believe and what we think, no matter who beeps this phone while I'm on it. We control everything, and it's up to us. If you own anything, you own your mind. So take control of it and do something powerful and profound with it. That's what I think. And if you've got any thoughts, do contact me at bigjohnlipscomb@gmail.com if you want to be involved with this soulful experiment. We're going to do it. We're going to change the world. Good night.